So guys, we got some great clips coming up by the great Candace Owens. If you guys don't know who Candace Owens is a black conservative who's a commentator for the Blexit, also co-founder, and she also appears on Daily Wire and YouTube as well. Very controversial, but I agree with a lot of the things that Candace Owens says. Some things I don't, but one thing is that she's standing on it, and you can have whatever opinion you want to have. But I think that what we're about to watch here says a lot in terms of understanding and the whole boogeyman concept and the blame game. And in these clips, you see Candace Owens, as usual, holds her own weight. And it's quite comical, if you ask me, watching this. And the fact that she's 8 months pregnant and still doing this. So she appears at the University of Albany, and she's doing these Q&A, if you will, while talking about some topics. So let's get into it. So let's go.
What do you have to say to the trans students on this campus who actively feel victimized by your presence here today? Additionally, you just pointed out that this man detransitioned, but earlier in your speech...
Guys, I want to hear her. Go ahead. What do I have to say? Just the question, please. No speech. What is the question?
What do you have to say to the trans students on this campus who feel actively victimized by your presence here?
Life's tough. Get a helmet, man. I'm too pregnant for this. Next question. My goodness. Seriously, somebody just give out free hugs or something, somebody give out free hugs. I can't be your mommy, okay? I'm too pregnant. I can't be your mommy.
Over and over again, I was being asked to be their mommies. They want to talk about their feelings. They don't have any facts. They just want to talk about how they feel, and they're coming to these college campuses to be coddled. That's what's going on. People are spending upwards to $60,000 per year to be coddled.
So obviously Candace was invited there. And as she said, an overwhelming amount of people who basically don't agree with her talking points. I'm not saying you shouldn't show up for understanding, but a group of people, as she said, the queer community appeared to basically, as Candace said perfectly, have their Martin Luther King moment, have their viral moment, have their life-changing moment. Now, these kids are in their late teens, early 20s, and they're sitting there like, yeah, let's get her. We're going to come up with this. We're going to stop. Candace is too well studied. She's too articulate to think that anything that you're going to say she hasn't heard all before. This is absolutely true. Life is tough. Things happen. People are going through things everywhere. And in terms of sexuality, I get it. These things happen where you have to come to terms with who you are. If that's who you are, that's who you are. The fact that you feel threatened by her presence, if I feel threatened by someone's presence, I don't think that this was mandatory here, which is the crazy thing. So why show up? You're threatened. All these people are threatened by her presence. Why? It's crazy, but as she said, we've become so soft and we got to wear the kid gloves. You can't say anything to anyone. You have to watch what you say or you might get canceled. But let's get on to the next clip. Let's go.
As a non-binary person, what do you have to tell me about my identity? Because I know for a fact I'm not confused.
Okay, next question. Great statement. That's a statement. That's a statement. Okay, you know your identity. You're not confused. Congratulations, sweetheart. Thank you very much for your statement.
What was she looking for there? What did she expect me to say? Why would I care? If she's so confident in exactly who she is, why is she snarling at me to stand up and tell me that? Go live your best life. Truly, from the bottom of my heart, I mean that.
And she said it so aggressively. Nobody cares. If you want someone to affirm you, which I think that is the main thing, is that I want to be affirmed. Everybody doesn't get affirmed. I don't get affirmed. I may think that I'm handsome, and I do think I'm handsome. That doesn't mean that you guys are going to affirm that. And that's perfectly fine. As long as I'm not attacking anyone, I'm not hurting anyone, whatever. What do you have to say about that? I'm not confused. Okay, if you're not confused, you're not confused, baby. Life goes on. And do you see how she just walked away defeated with her tail between her legs, for lack of a better term? And that was that. It's fine, baby. You can be you. It's perfectly fine. Man, let's get on to the next one, though. Let's go.
My question isn't specifically about anything you really said tonight, although I don't really agree with anything you said.
Okay.
I'm proudly part of the LGBTQ community. I've always stood up for my community whenever I needed to. I want to focus specifically on, I've been listening to you for a little bit just to understand some things. A live stream you did about Pride Month in June on Facebook because you were no longer allowed on YouTube. The event that you were talking about, I actually had the honor of attending that event with a lot of my really close friends, and I found it very perplexing to me how you choose to only focus on the things that are negative when it comes to the queer community.
Sorry, when it comes to what community?
The queer community.
Okay.
Do you not realize that people like you and people like the people you're around and that, you know, continue to have this idea of us are the reason we feel that we have to be so openly proud of who we are? Your demented homophobic and transphobic rhetoric and rants just further prove our point that we have to fight loudly to be respected. The reason that LGBTQIA+ suicide rates are so high in this country isn't just because we're part of the community. It's because there are people like you who make us feel like we don't belong. The only LGBTQ agenda we have is
okay. Is there a question in there or a speech?
Yes.
You got to ask a question, buddy. I know you wrote this out in your notes, but ask a question. Let's go.
How do you think other people who, with your beliefs, respond to the fact that your hateful and harmful rhetoric costs the lives of queer children every single day, on average, every 45 seconds?
Okay, so this is just going to be a pure boogeyman. You're pretending that someone committed suicide because of Candace Owens. You've got no facts here. You're just going, it's your rhetoric that's causing all of this.
So I really wish I could show you here on YouTube what I responded to this young man, but you know how the world works. You are allowed to insult. You're even allowed to assault heterosexual people. You're allowed to step to the plate and accuse them of increasing suicide rates absent any data. You can call them demented. You can call them homophobic. You can call them transphobic. All that is allowed. But us issuing a rebuttal of any sorts, no, that would be harassment.
So good buddy right there, he was quite sassy, wasn't he? And he was taking little shots here and there. Your YouTube channel was down, and I don't really watch your content, blah, 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 da, 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 and making those Donald Trump faces when she's talking and all that stuff. Shout out to Trump, though. But listen, man, it's easy to place a scapegoat and say, you're the reason why, as Candace said, the boogeyman, you're the reason why this is happening. It's your fault. And come on, man, that's not right. That's very disingenuous. As she said, you have no facts. Now, what Candace was talking about, and I encourage you guys, if you want to see more, go on the Daily Wire, because as she said, there's certain stuff she couldn't put up. She goes on to talk about Walt Heyer, a 82-year-old detransitioned man. He detransitioned in like 91. He lived as a trans woman for 8 years based upon being SA'd back when he was a teenager by his uncle. And he was put on hormone therapy, and he's an advocate, author. He has his own ministries as well for those who are dealing with similar issues. So he speaks about this at length, based upon those who transition afterwards, that rate going up. So that's what Candace was talking about. And I think that those are things that really need to be discussed. But if you're open to, as she says, you can sit there and attack one person, but you don't allow anyone to have an opinion back towards you or a rebuttal, I think that's disingenuous. And there are several communities here on the internet and all over where that happens and one person gets canceled, but the other one doesn't. It's not fair. Anyway, guys, let me know what you guys think, though. Comment below. Like, share, comment, and subscribe. Hit me up on Linktree to book a one-on-one with yours truly. Purchase all my books, merch, t-shirts. Helps to support the channel. Follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. With that being said, much blessings and abundance. Stick around for the next video that's going to pop up on the screen below. That's where I'm going to see you guys at. It's your favorite everything. Listen, I'm the best. This is wisdom. I'm out of here. Peace.
Finesse.